then next we have information item number 3, our sagebrush update. Dr. Empey.
Yeah, a few weeks ago I went through and listened to all the school board meetings about this subject. You have spent a lot of time on this subject. Tonight we're going to spend very little time on it, but you do need an update as to just where we are on it. So, Robert, would you give us a brief update, please?
Sure, Dr. Empey. This evening I just wanted to make sure that we were continuing to communicate. We haven't had a lot of progress in this particular issue, but I wanted to let you know that us, La Cañada Unified School District, and the City of La Cañada have collectively all agreed as entities to contribute up to $5,000, not to exceed $5,000 toward the cost each, so a cumulative $15,000 pie. To fund an advisor to come in and see if they can come up with a creative solution whereby La Cañada could theoretically come close to holding us somewhat harmless if we were to find an arrangement regarding our boundary situation in the sagebrush area. And so all 3 entities have agreed publicly to commit those funds. We've also agreed that La Cañada Unified School District will be the contracting agency, and they will engage in the contract, and we will pay La Cañada our portion, essentially. What's important to recognize that originally we were going to go with East Shore Consultant because the consultant we were advised to use was a gentleman named Shin Green. He's now with Capital Advisors, and Capital Advisors has agreed to take on this engagement under the same terms. And so the contract will be with Capital Advisors. As soon as La Cañada Unified School District executes that contract, we will set mutually agreed upon dates to meet, by which we will publish on our Sagebrush website, so the whole community can know what's happening with that. And I know the board has been working hard internally to set priorities and criteria, so when we go back to the bargaining table, we can all be working from a place of honesty and transparency, and hopefully bring this to a conclusion quickly. That's it.
Questions?
Just a comment. I know it's been an issue, like Dr. Empey just mentioned. It's been obviously it's a very serious issue, and it's come back before many times through the 90s, and we're just listening to constituents too up in that area too to see what their needs are, to be understanding of what is needed to complement both districts. I know it's the same students, same families in a lot of regards, and we have good communication with the La Cañada School Board, and they're present. I know Christine's in touch, and Armin has been attending some of the meetings. And just to rehash what you said, this is an opportunity for this firm, Capital, what's it called again? Capital Advisors. So at least look at the fabric of, is this feasible too? Can we actually do it, financially do it? Is it possible for us to actually work out for both districts without harming either district too? Because financially, can La Cañada handle this, what we were asking for? And it's tough for them to make that move. But maybe there's some opportunity they could find, and with positive communication, we'll find some solution. We don't know what the time frame is with this, though, do we?
As soon as the engagement's complete, that's the first thing we're pressing for is dates.
Okay. Thank you.
Mrs. Freeman?
Just a quick clarifying question. I hope I don't put you on the spot. So I know, the La Cañada Town Council, if you could maybe clarify kind of what their role now is in this process, and why the CV Town Council, kind of what their role is or is not, and kind of, because I know that has been brought up, I know, quite publicly recently with the CV Town Council, and just so that we understand kind of what the role is of each of those entities in this process.
So I don't have quite the history with this particular issue that Dr. Empey has. But I know it's been going on for quite some time. My understanding is that the Unite La Cañada Flint Ridge group has been pressing both their school district and their city council quite hard on this issue. And so everybody's been working very hard to find a solution that's manageable. I'm not sure how the CV Town Council fits into that conversation, though. I hadn't heard that.
Actually, I think I can answer part of this. This is to understand the distinction. The process was actually initiated by La Cañada City Council. So they kind of started this whole ball rolling. The negotiations have been between the two districts. That's where we've been. But when we came to the point of needing to, or wanting to have some, some funding for this advisor, because we are it's very difficult. We're having a lot of difficulty in finding a solution. So we asked them to kick in because they started it. So essentially we asked them to help to pay for it. We've had no conversations in the last, I don't know, probably year that have included, and we had one meeting at one point that included a council member, but it was very, very early on. So all of the conversations since have been just between the two boards. So at some point,
their involvement is pretty limited. This city council.
Yeah, they have none
limited.
actually at this point.
Very limited.
So other than we ask them to contribute to the cost. So going forward, I guess I have heard some about that they may want to, especially because they're paying for some. And when we get there, we'll make sure that we have adequate representation from both. But they are a legal body that actually started this. So that's part of the difference.
That's accurate, Madam President.
Thank you, Dr. Gardner.
And we had a communication meeting. I mean, was it Dr. MP? Was it 2 weeks ago? We had a meeting with the CV Town Council,
Yes.
and we met 2 weeks ago. It's something we embarked in last year. We have a committee meeting that includes La Cañada Chamber, Montrose Chamber, Crescenta Valley Chamber of Commerce, CV Town Council, and ourselves. And we talked about these things. And next year it'll continue on with Christine and Armina, the president, vice president, will have the chance to, and then they have a voice on all issues, not just sagebrush. So, okay.
So, Mr. McIntyre, when are we finalizing the criteria? As for whenever the date is set and whenever they start.
Ideally, as a board, and this is both a public and private conversation as far as just kind of delineating what the board sees in the best interest of the district, because for now those children are our children.
Yep.
And making sure that we protect them, that we protect the district's assets, including the park, that we give proper ingress and egress safety. I mean, there's a great many concerns, and one of the issues we had, I know that the La Cañada School District changed their policies regarding inter-district transfers and then weren't able to accommodate all the children who tried to apply. And so many of them had to come back, and fortunately, we protected them by ensuring they had somewhere to come back to.
Mm-hmm. I think Nairi has a question.
Is there a question?
Did you have a question, Nairi?
Comment after Mr. McIntyre finishes.
Okay,
That was all, just that we needed to collectively come up with the criteria that the board sees will best protect the interests of the children of this community before we kind of step back into that meeting. So we're not kind of wasting time, and I don't call it a waste of time, but that the dialogue is very focused within certain parameters, because it can really go off a million different ways, and often we lose focus on the most important thing there, and that's our children.
But when are we working on when are we finalizing the criteria as far as our board?
Not sure
Are we
I can answer
moving
that.
toward, no? Okay.
I think the answer is we're not sure yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you mentioned in the beginning that
So we've shared some criteria with the board. The board has shared some criteria back. I think we've had a lot of very kind of big ticket items that we've had to weigh on recently, and I think fortunately the contracting period with the capital advisors has taken a little time, so it's given us a breath to really be thoughtful. So hopefully over the next board meeting or two, it'll be something that we can kind of put a pin in and get nailed down.
Thank you.
Nairi?
Yeah, thank you. So I do appreciate the update, and we want to keep as transparent. Well, we want to keep plainly transparent on this issue, and I am open, and we all are on the board here, of getting possible ideas from outside sources, and that's what we're doing right now. I welcome their input if there are some other creative ways of meeting the needs of our students, as well as the students of La Cañada or their district. I'm happy to know that. I'm hearing from my board colleague, I guess, the concern of if in the future the La Cañada City Council is going to be more of a participant in our discussions, and I'm saying that cautiously because I understand from Ms. Walters, it is, and from all of us, it is not so right now. But if that were to become the case, then we really need to be mindful about the similar body being involved and active on the Glendale or La Crescenta side. So I think we're all attentive. I want to be attentive to that. So again, to clarify right now, the La Cañada City Council does not have an involvement, but if that were to change, then we would need to be mindful of that, because we want our La Crescenta or our City of Glendale folks to parallel in their involvement if that happens. And lastly, it's interesting, Mr. McIntyre's comment about criteria and discussion. So if we do need to come back and talk about this, because we've had discussions on this before in terms of what's important to the the Glendale GUSD Board of Education, whether or not it's the park or if it's other things, we've had a lot of discussions. And if we need to come back, because we do have a new board now, then let's do that and let's take it one step at a time on this.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other comments? All right. We are moving on to information number 4, the geo-listening services. Dr. MP.